أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير آمين يا رب العالمين.
In this lecture, we will study the second type of murakkab nakis, which is called descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi. Previously, we studied that there are two types of murakkab or phrases. The first type of murakkab is called murakkab tam, which is also known as jumla or sentence. Within murakkab tam, we started the study of jumla ismiya. The second category of murakkab is that of murakkab nakis. Unlike murakkab tam, murakkab nakis is a phrase which does not convey a complete meaning. Murakkab nakis is not a sentence. Within murakkab nakis, we planned that we will study four types of murakkab nakis. The first type of murakkab nakis that we studied was murakkab ishari or demonstrative phrase. This is a murakkab that involves the use of a demonstrative pronoun. In this lecture, we will study the second type of murakkab nakis, which is called murakkab tawsifi or descriptive phrase. An introduction to murakkab tawsifi or descriptive phrase. A descriptive phrase includes at least two asma in which one ism describes the sifat of the other ism. A descriptive phrase will include two asma in which one ism will describe the sifat, which means characteristic or quality of the other ism. For example, a pious boy, a hard-working girl, the black stone. Each descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi has two parts. The first part is called the sifat, which is the characteristic or the quality. And the second part is called the Mosuf. Mosuf is the ism which is being described using the sifat. For example, a pious boy. Pious is the characteristic, quality or sifat, and boy is the one being described or Mosuf. So in the example of a pious boy, pious is the sifat, boy is the Mosuf. In the case of a hardworking girl, hardworking is the sifat and girl is the Mosuf. And this combination of sifat and Mosuf will make a descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi. In the English language and Urdu, the sifat, which is the quality or characteristic, is written and read first and is followed by the Mosuf. For example, the red car. Red is the quality, characteristic or the sifat, and car is the Mosuf. In this example, the sifat comes first, it is written first, it is read first, followed by the Mosuf. A good boy. Good is the sifat and boy is the Mosuf. A bright star. Bright is the quality, characteristic or the sifat, and star is the Mosuf. However, in the case of Arabic, the order is reversed. The Mosuf is written and read first, followed by the sifat. The rule for making descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi. In a descriptive phrase, the Mosuf and sifat will have the same number, gender, capacity, and status. The Mosuf and sifat will be equal in number, gender, capacity, and status. The sifat will follow the Mosuf. The sifat will have the same number, gender, capacity, and status as the Mosuf. So it will be the number, gender, capacity, and status of the Mosuf which will determine the number, gender, capacity, and status of the Sifat. For example, in regards to number, if Mosuf is singular, the Sifat will be singular. If Mosuf is dual, the Sifat will be dual. If Mosuf is plural, the Sifat will be plural. In regards to gender, if Mosuf is masculine, Sifat will be masculine. If Mosuf is feminine, Sifat will be feminine. In terms of capacity, if Mosuf is definite, the Sifat will follow and it will also be definite. If Mosuf is indefinite, the Sifat will follow and it will be indefinite as well. And finally, in terms of status, if Mosuf is marfu, the Sifat will also be marfu. If Mosuf is mansoob, the Sifat will also be mansoob. And if Mosuf is majroor, the Sifat will also be majroor. To summarize, the Sifat will follow the Mosuf in terms of number, gender, capacity, and status. And when we look at a Murakkab Tawsifi, we will see that the Sifat and Mosuf have the same number, gender, capacity, and status. Let us look at the following example. Here we have Imamun Adilun. Imamun means a leader or a ruler, and Adilun means just or having the quality of justice. If Imamun Adilun is a Murakkab Tawsifi, in that case, Imamun would be Mosuf and Adilun would be Sifat. Adilun is Sifat because it is a quality or an attribute. Please also note that if Imamun Adilun is a descriptive phrase or Murakkab Tawsifi, the Mosuf is written first and it is read first, followed by the Sifat, which is the opposite of English and Urdu language. Taken together, Imamun Adilun means a just leader or a just ruler. Let us look at Imamun. Imamun is Rafa in status because of the presence of double pesh at the end of the ism. Imamun is singular in number. It is masculine in gender and indefinite in capacity. Looking at Adilun, it is also Rafa in status, singular in number, masculine in gender and indefinite in capacity. So if we pay attention, both Imamun and Adilun are equal in status, number, gender, and capacity. We can draw the following conclusions. Number 1, Imamun Adilun is a murakkab or a phrase. It is not a mufrad because Imamun Adilun is not a single word. Next, it is not a murakkab tam. It does not meet criteria to be a jumla ismiya. Why? Because if Imamun Adilun were to be a jumla ismiya, in that case, Imamun would be mubtada and mubtada will need to be definite. However, Imamun is indefinite. So we can conclude that Imamun Adilun is not a murakkab tam. Automatically, that means that it will be a murakkab naqis. Furthermore, it is not a demonstrative phrase. It is not a murakkab ishari. Why? Because there is no demonstrative pronoun in Imamun Adilun. Finally, Imamun Adilun is a descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi. Why? Because it includes a sifat and a mosuf. Imamun Adilun, Imaman Adilan, Imamin Adilin. These three descriptive phrases have the same meaning. In the case of Imamun adilun. Imamun is the Mosuf and adilun is the Sifat. Imamun is Rafa in status and adilun will also be in Rafa status. That will make the entire descriptive phrase Rafa in status or marfu. In the case of imaman adilan, imaman is the Mosuf, adilan is the Sifat. Imaman is nasab in status and therefore adilan will also be nasab in status. Therefore, the entire descriptive phrase will be in nasab status or it will be mansoob. Finally, imamin is the Mosuf and adilin is the Sifat. Imamin is jar in status. Therefore, adilin will also be jar in status. And therefore, the entire descriptive phrase will be in jar status or it will be majroor. We will now do some practice of descriptive phrases or murakkab-e-tawsifi in their three forms. In this table, the first column represents descriptive phrases in the Rafa status. Second column represents descriptive phrases in the nasab status. And third column represents descriptive phrases in the jar status. We will start with al-muslimus sadiqu. This means the truthful Muslim. We are using the in the translation because in the murakkab-e-tawsifi, the Sifat and Mosuf have al attached to them. Mosuf is al-muslimu and Sifat, which is the quality, is as-sadiqu. In reality, this is al-muslimu as-sadiqu. But when we write and read them together, we will say al-muslimus sadiqu. Al-muslimas sadiqa. Al-muslimis sadiqi. All three descriptive phrases have the same meaning, that is, the truthful Muslim. Al-muslimani sadiqani, the two truthful Muslims. Al-muslimaini sadiqaini, al-muslimaini sadiqaini. Please focus on the ani and aini ending sound. Ani ending sound indicates Rafa status and aini ending sound indicates nasab or jar status. Al-muslimuna sadiquna, al-muslimina sadiqina, al-muslimina sadiqina. Here we will focus on the una and ina ending sounds. Una ending sound indicates Rafa status. Ina ending sound indicates nasab or jar status. Al-muslimuna sadiquna means the truthful Muslims, referring to the plural number. Al-muslimina sadiqina also means the truthful Muslims. Next, we will go to the feminine table. Al-muslimatus sadiqatu, the truthful Muslim, referring to the feminine gender. Al-muslimatas sadiqata, al-muslimatis sadiqati. Al-muslimatani sadiqatani, al-muslimataini sadiqataini, al-muslimataini sadiqataini. Here, again, we will focus on the ani and aini ending sounds to differentiate between Rafa and nasab jar status. Al-muslimatani sadiqatani means the two truthful Muslims, referring to the feminine gender. Al-muslimatus sadiqatu, al-muslimatis sadiqati, al-muslimatis sadiqati. Here we will focus on the atu and ati ending sound. Atu ending sound indicates Rafa status. Ati ending sound indicates nasab or jar status. The meaning of these three descriptive phrases is the same. which is the truthful Muslims, referring to plural feminine. Al-kafirul kazibu, the untruthful disbeliever. Al-kafiral kaziba, al-kafiril kazibi. Al-kafiranil kazibani, al-kafirainil kazibaini, al-kafirainil kazibaini. Ani, aini, aini. Al-kafiranil kazibani means the two untruthful disbelievers. Al-kafirunal kazibuna, al-kafirinal kazibina, al-kafirinal kazibina. Una and ina ending sounds are used to differ between Rafa and Nasab or Jar status. Al-kafiruna al-kazibuna means the untruthful disbelievers, and we know that una ending sound is used for masculine non-broken plural. Al-kafiratul kazibatu, the untruthful disbeliever, referring to the feminine gender. Al-kafiratal kazibata, al-kafiratil kazibati. Al-kafiratanil kazibatani, al-kafiratainil kazibataini, al-kafiratainil kazibataini. Al-kafiratanil kazibatani means the two untruthful disbelievers, referring to the feminine gender. Al-kafiratul kazibatu, al-kafiratil kazibati, al-kafiratil kazibati. Talibun jalisun, a sitting student. Here we do not have al with the Mosuf or al with the Sifat. That is why we are not using the in translation. Instead we will say a sitting student. Taliban jalisan, talibin jalisin. Talibani jalisani, two sitting students. Talibaini jalisaini, talibaini jalisaini. Tullabun jalisuna, sitting students, referring to plural number. Tullaban jalisina, sitting students, that is plural. Tullabin jalisina. Talibatun jalisatun, a sitting student, referring to the feminine gender. Talibatan jalisatan, talibatin jalisatin. In the case of talibatan, we are not adding an alif at the end of the ism because we have gol ta at the end of the ism. Talibatani jalisatani, referring to two feminine students that are sitting. Talibataini jalisataini, talibataini jalisataini. Talibatun jalisatun. Please notice the atun ending sound at the end of talibatun and jalisatun. Atun ending sound indicates feminine non-broken plural. So the meaning of talibatun jalisatun is sitting students, referring to plural and feminine. In the nasab status, we have talibatin jalisatin, and in jar status, we have talibatin jalisatin. The following descriptive phrases are in the Rafa status. Imra'atun qa'imatun, a standing woman. Rajulun qa'imun, a standing man. Imra'atani qa'imatani, two standing women. Rajulani qa'imani, two standing men. Nisa'un qa'imatun, standing women. Rijalun qa'imuna, standing men. Al-bintun na'imatu, the sleeping girl. Al-waladun naimu, the sleeping boy. Al-bintanin naimatani, the two sleeping girls. Al-waladanin naimani, the two sleeping boys. Al-banatun naimatu, the sleeping girls. Al-awladun naimuna, the sleeping boys. Next we have as-sirat al-mustaqima. The literal meaning of as-sirata is the path, and the literal meaning of al-mustaqima will be the straight. Taken together, as-sirat al-mustaqima means the straight path. Is as-sirat al-mustaqima a mufrad or murakkab? It is a murakkab because as-sirat al-mustaqima is not one word or mufrad. Is as-sirat al-mustaqima a murakkab tam? The only murakkab tam we've studied so far is jumla ismiya. If as-sirat al-mustaqima were jumla ismiya, that would mean that as-sirata would be mubtada and al-mustaqima would be khabar. A requirement of jumla ismiya is that mubtada should be marifa or definite and khabar should be nakra or indefinite. But al-mustaqima is definite. It is not indefinite. Therefore, as-sirat al-mustaqima is not a jumla ismiya, and for the purposes of our study, it is not a murakkab tam. Is it a murakkab naqis? Yes, it is. And what type of murakkab naqis? It is a descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi. Why? Because it is a murakkab or a phrase that includes a sifat and a mosuf. In the case of as-sirat al-mustaqima, the mosuf is as-sirata, which is the path, and al-mustaqima, which is the sifat. Finally, what is the status of the descriptive phrase? What is the status of as-sirat al-mustaqima? The status of as-sirat al-mustaqima is nasab. As-sirat al-mustaqima is mansub because as-sirata is mansub and al-mustaqima is mansub as indicated by the zabar at the end of as-sirata and al-mustaqima. In the beginning of Surah Yasin, which is Surah number 36 of the Holy Quran, we have Yasin wal Qur'anil Hakim. If we focus on Al-Qur'anil Hakim, Al-Quran literally means the Quran, and Al-Hakim literally means the wise. Taken together, Al-Quran al-Hakim means the wise Quran or the Quran full of wisdom. Now let us focus on Al-Quran al-Hakim. Is it mufrad or murakkab? Al-Quran al-Hakim is a murakkab because it is not a single word. Next, is it a murakkab tam? In other words, is it a jumla ismiya? Because so far we have only studied jumla ismiya. And the answer is, it is not a jumla ismiya because Al-Quran and Al-Hakim are equal in number, gender, status and capacity. Is it a murakkab naqis? Yes. If it's not a murakkab tam, it is a murakkab naqis. What type of murakkab naqis? Al-Quran al-Hakim is a descriptive phrase or murakkab tawsifi. Why? Because it has a sifat and it has a mosuf. In the case of Al-Quran al-Hakim, Al-Qurani is the mosuf, which is the Quran, and Al-Hakimi is the sifat. What is the status? Al-Qurani is jar in status or it is majroor, and Al-Hakimi is jar in status or it is majroor. This will make Al-Quran al-Hakim majroor. The following is a dua of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafian wa rizqan tayyiban wa amalan mutaqabbalan. O Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge, goodly provision, and acceptable deeds. In this dua, if we pay attention to ilman nafian, ilman means knowledge and nafian means beneficial. Taken together, ilman nafian means beneficial knowledge or such knowledge that is beneficial. In the case of ilman nafian, ilman is the Mosuf and nafian is the Sifat. Nafian is the Sifat and it describes a quality or attribute of the Mosuf, which is ilman. Ilman is singular in number, masculine in gender, indefinite in capacity, and nasab in status. Nafian will follow the Mosuf, nafian will follow ilman, and it is also singular in number, masculine in gender, nasab in status, and indefinite in capacity. And together, ilman nafian will make a murakkab tawsifi or descriptive phrase. The same applies to rizqan tayyiban and amalan mutaqabbalan. Rizqan tayyiban can be translated as goodly provision or such provision that is pure. Amalan mutaqabbalan can be translated to acceptable deeds or such deeds that are acceptable. The closed doors. If we want to translate this phrase as a murakkab tawsifi or descriptive phrase, we will use al-abwabu for the doors. Al-abwabu will be the Mosuf and we need to identify the Sifat for the closed doors. The Sifat for al-abwabu as the Mosuf will be al-mughlaqatu. If we focus on al-mughlaqatu, we will realize that it is singular and feminine, whereas al-abwabu is masculine and plural. This discrepancy is because al-abwabu is the plural of ghair aqil ism, or it is the plural of a non-intelligent ism. And we studied previously that for the plural of a ghair aqil ism, the sifat that will be used will be singular and feminine. So, the closed doors will be translated as al-abwabul mughlaqatu. Al-abwabu is the Mosuf and al-mughlaqatu is the sifat, which will be singular and feminine because it is the sifat that is used with the plural of a ghair aqil ism. Another example is the open windows. If we were to translate the open windows as a murakkab tawsifi, we will use an-nawafizu as the Mosuf, which will be used for the windows. And now we need to identify a sifat. The sifat for this descriptive phrase will be al-maftuhatu. An-nawafizul maftuhatu. We are using al-maftuhatu, which is singular and feminine, because an-nawafizu is the plural of a ghair aqil ism. It is the plural of window, and window is ghair aqil. Al-maftuhatu is singular and feminine because it is a sifat and it is used for the plural of ghair aqil ism. Therefore, it will be singular and feminine. We will use this opportunity to revise aqil versus ghair aqil in Arabic grammar. In Arabic grammar, a created entity will either be aqil or intelligent, or it will be ghair aqil or non-intelligent. Aqil creations will only include humans, angels, and jinn. The rest of the creations will be ghair aqil. We studied that for the plural of a ghair aqil or non-intelligent ism, the khabar, demonstrative pronoun, personal pronoun, relative pronoun, adjective or attribute, and fail will be singular and feminine. Once again, for the plural of a ghair aqil ism, the khabar, ishara, zamir, Mosuf, Sifat, and fail will be singular and feminine. Let us analyze the following ayat from the Holy Quran. These ayat are from Surah Al-Ghashiyah, which is Surah number 88 of the Holy Quran. In these ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the rewards and blessings for the residents of Jannah. Looking at ayah number 10, we see Jannatin Aliyatin. Let us analyze Jannatin Aliyatin. Jannatin literally means a garden, and Aliyatin is literally translated as elevated. Taken together, Jannatin Aliyatin will be translated as an elevated garden. If we study Jannatin in more detail, we will see that it is jar in status because of the presence of double zair at the end of the ism. It is indefinite in capacity, it is singular, and it is feminine. Jannatin is feminine because of the presence of gol ta or round ta at the end of the ism. Now let us look at Aliyatin. Aliyatin is also jar in status. It is also indefinite in capacity. It is also singular, and it is also feminine. So we can clearly see that both Jannatin and Aliyatin are equal in status, capacity, number, and gender. Jannatin is Mosuf and Aliyatin is Sifat. Aliyatin is Sifat because it describes a characteristic or quality of the Mosuf, which is Jannatin. Taken together, this is a Murakkab-e Tawsifi or descriptive phrase because it includes a Sifat and a Mosuf that are equal in status, capacity, number, and gender. Next, we have Ainun Jariyatun. If we focus on Ainun Jariyatun, Ainun means spring and Jariyatun means flowing. Taken together, Ainun Jariyatun means a flowing spring. In the case of Ainun, it is Rafa in status because of the presence of double pesh on the singular ism. It is indefinite in capacity, it is singular and feminine. In the case of Jariyatun, it is also Rafa in status, it is also indefinite, singular and feminine. Ainun Jariyatun are equal in status, capacity, number and gender. Ainun is Mosuf and Jariyatun is Sifat. Jariyatun is Sifat because it describes the characteristic of the Mosuf. Ainun Jariyatun is a demonstrative phrase or Murakkab-e Tawsifi. In this ayah, we have Sururun Marfuwatun. Sururun means thrones and Marfuwatun means raised. Taken together, Sururun Marfuwatun means raised thrones. Sururun is Rafa in status because of double pesh at the end of the ism. It is indefinite in capacity. It is plural and masculine. Marfuwatun is Rafa in status. It is indefinite. However, Marfuwatun is singular and feminine. Here we see a discrepancy in terms of the number and gender. But the reason for this discrepancy is that marfu'atun is a sifat. It describes the quality of a Mosuf, which is the plural of a ghair aqil ism. Sururun is the plural of a ghair aqil ism. That is why the sifat that will be used with sururun as the Mosuf will be singular and feminine. That is the reason why the number and gender is singular and feminine respectively for marfu'atun. Sururun is Mosuf and marfu'atun is sifat. It is sifat because it describes the character or attribute of the Mosuf, which is sururun. In the next ayah, we have akwabun mawzu'atun. Akwabun means cups and mawzu'atun means put in place. Taken together, akwabun mawzu'atun means cups that are put in place or cups that are laid out. Our analysis of akwabun mawzu'atun shows that akwabun is Mosuf, it is Rafa in status, it is indefinite, it is plural, and it is masculine. Mawzu'atun is the sifat because it describes the quality or characteristic of the Mosuf. It is Rafa in status, it is indefinite in capacity. However, like the previous example, mawzu'atun is also singular and feminine. It is singular and feminine because it is the sifat for the plural of a ghair aqil ism. Akwabun is the plural of a ghair aqil ism or non-intelligent ism. That is why the associated sifat will be singular and feminine. In the next ayah, we have namariqu masfufatun. Let us analyze this further. Namariqu means cushions. Masfufatun means lined up. Taken together, namariqu masfufatun means cushions that are lined up or cushions arranged in rows. Already we can see that masfufatun describes the attribute or characteristics of namariqu. Namariqu is plural of namraqa. It is Rafa in status, it is indefinite, it is plural, and it is feminine. It is feminine because of the presence of gol ta at the end of the singular ism. Masfufatun is Rafa in status, it is indefinite in capacity, but it is singular and feminine. And it is singular and feminine because it is used as sifat for the plural of ghair aqil ism. Masfufatun is sifat. It describes the quality or attribute of namariqu, which is the Mosuf. Please note that in this example, we are saying namariqu masfufatun and not namariqun masfufatun. In the above example, we said akwabun. Here we said sururun. Here we said ainun. But in this example, we see namariqu and not namariqun. The reason for this is that namariqu is a ghair munsarif ism. We previously studied that there are certain asma that will occur on a certain pattern, and based on that pattern, we will define them as ghair munsarif. Namariqu is on the same pattern as masajid. There is a zabar on the first harf, a zabar on the second harf, alif, followed by zair on the harf after alif, and then a final blank spot. Namariqu is on the same pattern as masajid. That is why it is a ghair munsarif ism. And the rule for ghair munsarif ism is that it will not accept tanween and it will not accept zair. In the final ayah, we have zarabiyu mabthuthatun. If we look at this murakkab, we will see that zarabiyu means carpets and mabthuthatun means spread around. Taken together, it means carpets that are spread around. If we look at zarabiyu, zarabiyu means carpets. It is the plural of zarbiya. Zarabiyu is Mosuf. It is Rafa in status, indefinite in capacity, plural in number, and feminine in gender. Mabthusatun is the Sifat. It describes the quality or attribute of the carpets, that is, they are spread around. It is Rafa in status, indefinite in capacity, and singular and feminine. Mabthusatun is singular and feminine because it is a sifat and it is used as sifat for the plural of a ghair aqil ism. Finally, we will also see that zarabiyu does not have the tanween on it, similar to namariqu, and unlike akwabun, sururun, ainun. The reason for this is that zarabiyu is also a ghair munsarif ism. Another way to write zarabiyu will be like this, where instead of the shad, we have ya written twice at the end of the ism. If we look at zarabiyu, it is written on the same pattern as masabi. And just like namariq was on the same pattern as masajid, zarabi is also on the same pattern as masabi. Zarabi, masabi. And that is why zarabiyu is ghair munsarif. A ghair munsarif ism will not accept tanween and it will not accept zair. We will now do some practice and we will formulate the descriptive phrases or murakkabi tawsifi in Arabic for the following phrases in English. The pious man. Ar-rajulus salihu. We are adding al with the Mosuf and al with the Sifat because we are using the in the English phrase. Please also note that in English, the Sifat, that is pious, comes first and the Mosuf, which is man, comes later. And in Arabic, the Mosuf comes first and the Sifat, which is as-salihu, that comes next. The good boy. Al-waladul hasanu. The wise Quran or the Quran full of wisdom. Al-Quranul hakimu. The straight path. As-siratul mustaqimu. A just leader or a just ruler. Imamun adilun. In this case, since we are not using the in the English phrase, we do not have to add an al with the Mosuf or an al with the Sifat. We are referring to any just leader or any just ruler. A long battle. Harbun tawilatun. If we recall, harb is used in the feminine sense. That is why the Sifat will also be feminine. The two pious teachers. Al-ustazanis salihani. Since we are referring to dual, we will have the ani ending sound. The two hard-working teachers that are feminine. Al-ustazatanil mujtahidatani. The two new cars. As-sayyaratanil jadidatani. The two old books. Al-kitabanil qadimani. The pious women. An-nisa'us salihatu. Please notice the atu ending sound for feminine non-broken plural. The tall men الرجال الطويلون. Here, please notice the una ending sound for masculine non-broken plural. A yellow cow. بقرة صفراء. Please notice that we are not saying safraun, rather we are saying safra'u because we studied previously that the names of basic colors will be ghair munsarif. A blue handkerchief. Mindilun azraqu. Azraq is blue and mindil is handkerchief. The open windows. An-nawafizul maftuhatu. We are using al-maftuhatu, which is singular and feminine, because it is used as a sifat for the plural of a ghair aqil ism. The closed doors. Al-abwabul mughlaqatu. Here we are again using the sifat as singular and feminine because it is used with the plural of a ghair aqil ism. The beautiful watches. As-sa'atul jamilatu. Beneficial knowledge. Ilmun nafi'un. An acceptable deed. Amalun mutaqabbalun. Pure provision. Rizqun tayyibun. In this table, we have descriptive phrases written in English. In Arabic, we have the corresponding Mosuf written, and we will try to identify the associated sifat. A great day. Yawmun azimun. The two pious men or boys. Ar-rajulani as-salihani, which will be read together as Ar-rajulani as-salihani. A strange thing. Shay'un ajibun. Two hardworking women or girls. Imra'atani mujtahidatani. A reassured heart. Qalbun mutma'innun. Believing women. Nisa'un mu'minatun. The reassured soul. An-nafsu al-mutma'innatu, which will be read together as An-nafsul mutma'innatu. Open doors. Abwabun maftuhatun. The Holy Land. Al-ardu al-muqaddasu. Al-ardul muqaddasu. Clear signs. Ayatun bayyinatun or ayatun bayyinatun. Both bayyinatun or bayyinatun can be used here. Bayyinatun is the feminine non-broken plural version.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.